What's going on, noobs? I am Rory, the Perpetual Noob, and welcome back to another exciting Hollow Knight boss discussion. This is the 14th video in a series where I'll be discussing each boss of Hollow Knight, where we can find them, how we can defeat them, and how does this boss fit into the world of Hollow Knight. Today, we'll be talking about Crystal Guardian. Crystal Guardian is a unique boss. We fight Crystal Guardian twice, and we'll be talking about both fights today. We find Crystal Guardian the first time near the top center of Crystal Peak. They will be sitting on a bench, asleep, or at least not caring about us. In this encounter, we have to damage them to wake them up and get them off that bench so we can use the bench. We find Crystal Guardian for the second time in the room above where we found Crystal Guardian the first time. We need the Mantis Claw and the Monarch Wings abilities to access this area. In this encounter, Crystal Guardian ambushes us and releases the typical boss shout. Crystal Guardian uses the same attacks for both the first fight and second fight. However, there are still some differences between each fight. In the second encounter, Crystal Guardian is more aggressive. The beams are a different color, and their attacks do 2 hit points of damage. Multiple beams of crystal energy will shoot down from the sky. These beams become dangerous at different times, and each beam stays dangerous for about half a second. These beams will appear throughout the arena. Each beam can be at a different angle, though the angle will always be between plus and minus 15 degrees of vertical. This attack can happen in conjunction with Crystal Guardian's one other attack. In the first encounter, multiple beams will appear simultaneously. In the second encounter, beams will appear quickly, one after another. Crystal Guardian telegraphs this attack when they do their boss shout, and waves of sound, or whatever, emanate from them. In the first encounter, Crystal Guardian stands still. In the second encounter, Crystal Guardian does a little dance. Then thin beams of light appear, telegraphing where the dangerous beams are going to be. Let's call this attack the Sky Attack. Crystal Guardian will shoot a beam of crystal energy from their hand. They target us with the beam, firing at where we were when Crystal Guardian started their attack. Much like the Sky Attack, the beam is dangerous for only about half a second. Crystal Guardian telegraphs this attack when they lean back and bring their trailing hand up to the side of their face and point their other hand forward. A small orb forms at Crystal Guardian's hand and a thin beam of light shoots out, telegraphing where the dangerous beam is going to be. Let's call this attack the Beam Attack. The first fight against Crystal Guardian was really tough. The arena is completely open, there are no places to hide, and the combination of the Sky Attack and Beam Attack can be very difficult to avoid. After a few failed attempts, I realized that my safest strategy was to wait until Crystal Guardian used the Beam Attack when I was on the ground. Then I would jump and dash over Crystal Guardian and get a few safe hits with my nail on their backside. If the Sky Attack was happening, I'd instead just try to stay safe and avoid all of the beams. The second fight against Crystal Guardian played out very differently. I just bullied the poor Crystal Guardian, using my 8 hit points and strong nail to simply outdamage and outlive Crystal Guardian. Also, I have no idea what happened with those first 2 beam attacks. My charms for the first Crystal Guardian fight were Wayward Compass, Dash Master, and Thorns of Agony. Even though I knew where Crystal Guardian was, I still needed Wayward Compass because navigating Crystal Peak is a little confusing for me. Dash Master was very useful. It enhanced my limited mobility because at this point in my Hollow Knight journey, I only had the Mothwing Cloak ability, and being able to move around quickly was essential to this fight. And Thorns of Agony, which wasn't as useful as it's been in other fights, because if I was taking damage, I often wasn't close to Crystal Guardian. My charms for the second Crystal Guardian encounter were Quick Slash, Wayward Compass, Gathering Swarm, Quick Focus, and Thorns of Agony. Quick Slash let me beat Crystal Guardian senseless. Whenever I could, I was swinging my nail. Wayward Compass was equipped because I was simply exploring more of Hallownest. I had no idea I was walking into a boss fight. Gathering Swarm is a fun charm when we're exploring. This charm's effect means the game will pick up Geo for us. Quick Focus meant that I was fearless. Even in a boss fight, I knew that I could take a ton of damage and quickly get all that health back, which freed me up to hit Crystal Guardian more with my nail. And Thorns of Agony wasn't as useful as it's been in other fights because I didn't get hit all that much. How crazy is that? Desolate Dive is a great spell for this fight because it provides so much invincibility while also dealing tons of damage. Vengeful Spirit is also useful, especially if you want to damage Crystal Guardian from far away. Combine the Shaman Stone and Spell Twister charms to maximize your spell damage and minimize the soul cost of your spells. Upgrading the Mothwing Cloak ability to the Shade Cloak is always good. The Shade Cloak is found at the bottom right of the Abyss, and it grants us the ability to safely dash through enemies and their attacks. This would allow you to safely dash through many of Crystal Guardian's beams. Please see the Soul Master video for a more in-depth general discussion about playstyles and charm combinations. The first time we defeat Crystal Guardian, they leap away, and we are able to use the bench Crystal Guardian was resting on. The second time we defeat Crystal Guardian, they fall over dead, and we gain access to another Mask Shard. But who was this Crystal Guardian that we relentlessly hunted down? So much so that we fought them twice to ensure they were gone forever. From the Hunter's Notes: Heavyset Miner of the Crystal Peak, overcome by crystal growth. Can discharge blazing beams of light from its crystallized limbs. The hunter wonders about what Crystal Guardian sees looking through that pink crystal. They think seeing only light is probably what drove Crystal Guardian mad. Crystal Guardian was simply a bug of Hallownest who was literally consumed by work, and it was that consumption that drove them crazy. Then, we happened upon Crystal Guardian sleeping as we looked for a place to rest. So we beat them up, and chased them through Crystal Peak to ensure we finished them for good. All for a place to sit, and a Mask Shard. We are huge jerks. That's it for our boss discussion about Crystal Guardian. Thank you for joining me today, noobs. Stay tuned for future Hollow Knight boss videos. If you've got any thoughts about Crystal Guardian, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. I am the Perpetual Noob, and I'll see you all next time.